Siyabonga Hlatshwayo is the South African Red Cross Society KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Manager. Very good evening to you. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Mr. Hlatshwayo. Let's just first start with the forecast for the week. What is the weather service saying about what you're likely to face?
Good evening to you and the listeners at home. Let us maybe continue to appreciate the work that is being done by the South African weather services as they continue to alert us whenever there's going to be some extreme weather that is upcoming. As it is, the weather is clearing in most parts of KwaZulu-Natal, but they continue to update us as they are part of our joint operations committees. They even update us on WhatsApp groups. And whenever we are having meetings, they also update us. But the situation in the communities is quite devastating. And it happened so sudden because we were expecting some heavy rains, but the damage seems to be quite severe.
What is the assessment so far? How much rain has been experienced? And if you could just also detail a little bit more about the tough conditions that you're contending with.
Yes, in most parts of KwaZulu-Natal, we have received heavy rains, and also the alerts have been up to level 6 of extreme and heavy rains that have caused much damage in the communities. And what is concerning the most is that as we were in the communities conducting assessments, we are seeing more of totally damaged households than those that are partially damaged, and leaving many people very much in destitute and displaced. And what is also worrying is that infrastructures like the community halls as well as schools are also very much damaged. And those were the infrastructure that we were hoping that people are going to be taken to those that are displaced, while the more help is still coming, and where we are going to be able to service them and provide them with their basic needs. So it's quite concerning in the communities.
The kind of support that you're able to lend, can you please share that with us, and the organizations that you're working with? I'd imagine that it can't be a job of one man alone, and that includes government as well.
Yes, from this morning, we received a call from the district, the district's disaster management center, and they were calling for us to join them to conduct assessments. So it becomes a joint operation now of all relevant departments, government departments like your SASA, Department of Social Development, as well as disaster management. So we all joined forces and went into the communities to conduct assessments. So with all of these organizations and partners, we are able to, for now, we are on the primary phase now, where we are actually looking at providing the basic needs for the people that mostly are currently displaced. So we are looking at providing shelter, mattresses, blankets, food for the people that are displaced, as well as hygiene packs. And in a way, while we are still mobilizing more support for them, because most of them do not even have clothing, so of which are still also appealing to the public to come in and support those that are affected.
And in just moving people from emergency areas, I think I'm just trying to remember which KwaZulu-Natal official I was speaking to the last time about early warning systems and how they are used. Obviously, warnings are given out when there is a warning about low-lying areas. But in terms of being able to move quickly, just given the number of deaths and injuries that have been experienced, I'm sure that is a very important part of your operation. Are you able to share with us if it is something that you're able to do timeously?
Yes. We have been working very much on improving on warning systems. As in a way, you'd see the use of social media, loud hailing, and also alerting the communities, having disaster management teams as some of our staff and volunteers actually going to the communities to loud hail, engage the communities, and also even if it means we are going door to door with those areas that we know to be like the hotspots, of incidents. So you go there and alert the communities and ensure that they are well informed. So the information is usually well shared, and also the teams also, they always ensure that they identify community halls that are actually conducive to shelter people. And that is part, if you're a disaster management practitioner, that is part of your work in terms of identifying shelters, ensuring that you do have enough relief in stock, so that if anything happens, we are able to respond. Just as today, we received the reports today, and we were able to be activated, go to the communities, and be able to distribute relief immediately.
And the areas we mentioned, Tuba, but from your experience, and also perhaps if we can just look back at past experiences, because KwaZulu-Natal has really been at the receiving end in terms of the worst of climatic changes and challenges. You spoke about hotspot areas. Can you name that? Is that constantly evolving, or are there areas that have now become notorious that when there's heavy rain, flooding and hailstorm, that they are easily affected?
They do evolve every now and then, but there are those that maybe like looking at the informal settlements, that those areas are the ones that are always prone to disasters and are vulnerable to disasters. So you would know those areas, and just as you are getting alerts, because we as speaking mostly for the Red Cross, we have 7 branches in the province. So usually, as we are participating in the job meetings that are initiated by the disaster management teams, so you then assess where the damage could be, and then you'd allocate teams to be on standby so that they are able to assist in time. So it always comes with those hotspot areas that would be known that these are the hotspot areas, and every now and then you'd continue to be monitoring them, and we are able to share reports in time and be able to sensitize the communities in time. So there are those that are known, that are notorious, mostly are the informal settlements.
Just very briefly, what help is needed that is urgent at the moment?
In our interaction with some of the people that are affected, we learned that people are quite traumatized about the situation. I recall of one household where everything is permanently, is totally damaged. The lady, we found her just standing in the rain, and we are asking her, can you explain what happened? What happened? We are trying to assess and capture some information. She couldn't speak to us, and she actually didn't know what was. It's like she wasn't there. So we've tried to organize teams that are going to be providing psychosocial support, but people are very much traumatized. And a solution to building their households would be the best support that they can get right now. And then a continuous support that will ensure that they recover from what had happened. And also, I think more plans that would be looking at now, planning better even for the future, to ensure that the risks are minimal, even where they are building, even though it's a natural hazard. There isn't much that we can do, but in terms of assessing how vulnerable and how exposed people are to maybe more disasters that might come in the near future. So that is the kind of support that I feel that is very much needed. If they can be supported with building their houses, that is something that they need the most, and then more support can come in, because some businesses are also affected. If support and funds can be mobilized and support those businesses, because those are people's livelihoods, and see if there are any other projects that can be implemented in those communities, that communities can work jointly, and I'm sure that also encourages recovery from many communities that are affected.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Wishing you and other teams you're working with all the best. Siyabonga Hlatshwayo is from the South African Red Cross Society.